that I hate is saying, at this point in time, when all you mean is right now, or let's get on with it. We all like technology, right?
Yes.
Technology is our friend. Technology solves our problems, right? On August 1st, 2012, Knight Capital Brokerage computers went bananas. And they executed over 400 million bogus transactions that lost the company a huge amount of money. The company went to the SEC and said, could we please back these out? The SEC said, no. They almost went bankrupt. Technology, is it the solution or is it the problem? In 1869, way back before technology, right? No. There was a gold panic. People were trading gold and the price was going crazy, and they had this communication technique back then called the telegraph. Do you know that telegraph wires actually sparked and melted because they were trying to get the transactions through fast, and the system failed? Technology. Does it solve all our problems? May 2010, the flash crash. You all know about that, right? The Dow Jones Industrials dropped 1,000 points in seconds. Actually, I think it was minutes. Why? No one knows. Was it intentional by somebody or was it accidental? But in that case, computers kicked in and stopped the flash crash. So some computers stopped other computers from failing. That's kind of like R2-D2 going crazy, and CP3O comes in and says, no, 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 don't do that, right? So the computers fixed the computer problem. Is that the solution? Do we still want to depend on the technology? It's interesting. In the stock market, in the early 1960s, there was a bull market, which means people are buying more and more stocks. And the volume started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Before then, it was a good old boy system, and they would communicate something on the telegraph or on the phone, and the results were on something called ticker tape. Has anybody ever seen ticker tape? Boy, you're old. Ticker tape carried every transaction, and it would run across the top of a screen in a local brokerage house, so you could track what your stock was doing. Well, in 1964, there were 4 million transactions a day. In 1968, there were 13 million a day. Volume going up. The system got overwhelmed. What did they do? They bought computers to track it. The volume was so bad before the computer, and the computer technology was so primitive, that they actually ended up closing the stock market on Wednesdays to do the paperwork. And then, not only were they closed on Wednesdays, they had to shorten the hours on the other 4 days of the week to try and keep up the transactions. It took weeks for somebody to get their stock certificates, because back then when you bought stocks, you actually got a real piece of paper with it. It took weeks sometimes. So what did they do? They improved the computers. They made them faster. There's a solution. By 1970, the bull market was over. People caught up. But you know what? Computers are expensive. And back then, brokerages were mostly like two-man partnerships, small businesses. They couldn't afford the computers that were keeping up with the volume. Computers were expensive, and the people who run them were expensive. So the companies merged and got larger and larger and larger. And we ended up with giant brokerages. Now there's a euphemism for those today. They're called too big to fail. And they're run by computers, right? Well, no, there's people behind them. And all those people are honest and above board, right? Sometimes they do things that are maybe a little bit less than ethical. So today, we're at the point where we can have flash crashes, we can have software failures. So what is the solution here? Is it more technology? Think about that. Thank you.